qualify our weather this weekend as sweet? Not really.
But let's talk about today. Jen, dare I say this morning felt pleasant?
It does feel a little cooler.
It does feel a little bit cooler. It feels so much better out there in comparison to what we saw last week. So just a little bit of glimmer of hope there to really start off for this week. However, rain chances still sticking around in the forecast. I'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. But taking a look at radar across the southeast, what we're starting to see, plenty of sunshine out there right now. Quite a bit of activity really taking place offshore further towards the south over the Gulf. But as we look in just a little bit closer, seeing that sunshine, very minimal cloud cover, if any, starting off so far for this morning. Now taking a look at those temperatures, upper 70s for our inland areas. It's been a while since we've seen some of those, and then also more of those lower to mid 80s as you head closer towards the coast. 84 in Pensacola, 82 in Mobile along with Gulf Shores, but then Leakesville, Lucedale, Calvert, Chatham, Grove Hill all resting at 79 degrees. So it really does feel better out there so far to start. However, we still do have some of that humidity. It's just not as much as what we saw last week. Last week we were already feeling like the mid 90s by the time we made it closer towards 9 a.m. Right now a lot of areas just feeling like the lower to mid 80s, possibly some upper 80s. Destin also a little bit more on the humid side, feeling like 90 degrees. Now over the next few hours, temperatures, we're still going to be soaring. Although we're feeling better starting off for this morning, we're still going to be warming up, really beginning to see more of those lower to mid 90s. Again, right around just slightly above average for this time of year. And then by this evening, temperatures dipping down to the mid 80s for any late evening plans that you may have. Now coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to be talking more about your forecast, what you can expect for the full 7 days ahead of us. I'll run through your futurecast as well. All of those details are coming up soon. Joe.
And Jen, we're starting off the work week sunny.
That's exactly right. We're starting off sunny. We're starting off feeling better, just like you and Joe had mentioned earlier. And also one of the biggest differences that we're going to be seeing, those temperatures right now, mid 80s, we're still feeling a little bit warmer, but take a look at those dew points. That's about 10 degrees less than what we saw last week. So the humidity has dropped. That's really going to be the biggest difference heading into today. Daytime highs, they're still going to be similar to what we saw last week, seeing more of those lower to mid 90s, possibly some upper 90s in some areas. Really expecting those mid to upper 80s closer towards the coast, but it's still warm. It's still right around average for this time of year. But like I mentioned, that humidity, it's going to be making the biggest difference and actually have us be feeling like the actual air temperature for the majority of today. So that's going to be the good news. Been more of a drier heat again in comparison to what we saw just a few days ago. So feeling a little bit better, but it's still going to be hot out there. Make sure you're not leaving your pets out in the car. Make sure that you're limiting their time outside and make sure that they're also staying hydrated. Same with your kids as well. Make sure they're staying hydrated because it's still going to be warm out there, even if that humidity isn't as high. Now the rip current risk, it's moderate today. It drops to low heading into tomorrow and Wednesday. That surf height just around 1 to 2 feet. And then taking a look at the rain chances. Again, I had mentioned these not too long ago. The good news is that they've dropped off, but really expecting us to continue to stay isolated still in that summertime pattern, heading closer towards the second half of the week and also heading closer towards the weekend. Now coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to talk more about your forecast, what you can expect in the futurecast, your 7-day outlook, and a check on the tropics. All of that's coming up soon. Joe.